Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Atlanta Thrashers franchise mode here in NHL 21. So last episode we had round 1 against a very tough Tampa Bay team that won like 52 games during the regular season, and we actually managed to force it to 7 games. Unfortunately, we lost the series, but it was a very good learning experience for our young guys on our team, and I couldn't be more happy with how we performed in that playoff matchup. So I'm very excited to see how the future is of this team. Now, before we get into the draft and the Resign stage, I do have a few comments I'd like to go over. So the first one is from Jared the Rabbit. He says, will this series see the relocation to Winnipeg? Now, I'd say no to that, but if you guys really want me to do a relocation to Winnipeg at some point, we could. But I don't really know if I really want to be honest, because this is supposed to be just like a what if like Winnipeg never happened, that type of thing. So if you guys want to see me relocate to Winnipeg, I always can, but I would prefer to probably stay in Atlanta. The next comment is from WMRA. He says, it was a good attempt for a playoff series win. I see a bright future for Atlanta. For the draft, this player might look very good, or might look good. Valerie Ivanov, he's supposed to go 18th, it says. Reason Ivanov seems like he would be a good scorer due to his ace shooting. In fact, all of Ivanov's stats seem to be pretty solid and believable except for skating. So we might be going after Ivanov, because also HawksFan88 mentions, I think Ivanov should be your first pick because he is supposed to be a good goal scorer for the Resign stage. Release anyone who had a lot of penalties, because you had a lot of penalties this season, which is true. So we're pretty much going to be letting go of mostly everybody we signed last offseason. We are definitely going to go after Ivanov in the draft, but as you can see here, all these expiring contracts. So basically, players like Aaron Asham, I still might bring back, even though he had a lot of penalty minutes, because he had a decent amount of points, so that was okay. But guys, for example, like, who was it? Was Jim Fahey one? Yeah, Jim Fahey took 72 penalty minutes, for example. Brian Leach barely took anything, but Robert Svail had 92 penalty minutes. Sean Avery had 144. Montador had 170. Like, it was a little outrageous. Like, even Brendan Witt, 187 penalty minutes. So that's probably what our downfall was of our team this season. Like, we could actually check if we look at the standings to see if we were one of the most penalized teams. I don't know if I did that at the end of the season or not. I know I did it halfway through the season, but I'm kind of curious of how the entire season, if we were one of the most penalized teams in the NHL. So time shorthanded. Yeah, we were up there. We were top 10 for most penalties taken in the NHL. The Boston Bruins were the most gooniest team in the NHL. The least gooniest team was the Minnesota Wild. Interesting. Okay, so let's take a look at the draft class quickly before we actually jump into the draft. So you guys wanted me to go after Ivanov, which I definitely will go for. As you can see, Ivanov was one of the guys we actually pinned. He's a power forward. The scout ranks him at 16th, so I don't know if we have, like, if we're gonna be. I think we're drafting at 16th, so I think we should be able to get him. I'm hoping, but he has some really good stats, and he's probably gonna be like a 70 something overall, my guess. But he is listed as 3 years away, so he's gonna take a little bit of time to develop. But he should be a pretty good player out of the draft. Now, there was some really other good players that we could get in this draft, like Maddox Weston, who looks like he could be a really good player, and same with like Evan Wang, for example. But those guys aren't scouted as much as Ivanov is, so we aren't going to be getting them. We're just going to go with Ivanov, and then, yeah, this entire draft looks like it's pretty deep, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. It's been like a couple of days since I recorded. Yeah, there's also like guys like Eaton. Like, it's a pretty deep draft class, it looks like, for the most part, in terms of overall basis. So, anyways, let's get into this draft and see if we can get some good prospects in. We'll definitely get Ivanov, and then we'll probably start targeting some defensemen if there is some good defenders available. Just because defense is where we're pretty much needing to fill up, because we got a decent amount of good forward prospects already on our team. So, Arizona's got number 1, or Phoenix at this point in time. Nashville number 2, Buffalo number 3, Pittsburgh number 4, and Montreal number 5. Okay, let's see what Phoenix gets at number 1. They're going to take Sundqvist, who's an 80 medium elite two-way forward. Pretty solid player all around, it looks like. Yeah, probably one of those guys that's going to be like a Selke winner down the road. You never know. Unless Bergeron wins them all, because he won one last episode, I'm pretty sure it was. Houtenan's going to go to Nashville, so Nashville gets a good defensive prospect, so you could say this is like their Shea Weber or something to an extent. And then Buffalo is going to take at number 3, Good Branson. There's another two-way forward, Omar Good Branson. Interesting. Another two-way forward, so that means another good penalty killing dude. Another defensive defenseman, Kaminsky, goes to Pittsburgh. So I think Pittsburgh drafted a good defenseman last year, if I'm not mistaken. So they might be getting better on their defensive blue line, which is good for them. But so far we had 2 defensive defensemen and 2 two-way forwards go. So this draft might be more defensively minded players, maybe. Thriffle. That's like the first time I've ever seen this last name ever used in an NHL franchise mode. Chase Threffel goes to Montreal. Interesting. Okay, let's sim to our pick now at number 16, so we should be able to get Ivanov up. So Weston was a 67 top 6 sniper, so that's a pretty good pickup for Edmonton. He just went. Kemp was pretty good. So yeah, maybe this draft class isn't as good as I thought, but there is still a lot of top 6 forwards going at number 16, which is nice. Okay, let's get Ivanov. He's probably going to fit right in with the rest of these guys. Now, Wang would be interesting, and Winkler as well, but we're going to go with Ivanov because you guys suggested him, and besides, he's also got that good shooting, which will help us out in the long run, I think. So, welcome to the team, Valerie Ivanov, and he is a 65 power forward, which is pretty nice. Let's take a look at those attributes. His attributes aren't great, I would say, at the moment, like his offensive awareness and defensive awareness, but they'll get better. His shooting is pretty good, though, like you guys were saying, 81 shooting accuracy and power across the board. But all around, he's a pretty solid player. Let's actually just take a look at what the other guys are. So Wang was also 65, and then Winkler was a high top 9 at 60 overall. So we made a good choice because I would probably rather take a power forward over a two-way forward to an extent, considering we already got Bergeron. So let's sim to our next pick, which we have, I think, yeah, we have like some second rounders. I don't think we have a lot of our picks, but Ricard Ladikainen looks pretty solid and looks like another top 6 forward. That wouldn't be that bad. Also, UC Martikainen. There's also defenseman Kip Thorne, which is kind of a cool name. We might go with Kip Thorne. But then again, these top 6 forwards are guaranteed. This guy doesn't look great for a top 6 forward. Like, he'd probably be a bit of a project. Ned Fernandez. Yeah, the draft class is dropping off in quality, so we're probably going to go with either one of the two of these guys, which we probably, based on overall stats, we'd probably go with the Ricard Ladikainen, because Martikainen, even though he's supposed to probably go earlier, Ladikainen looks better. So yeah, we're going to go with the Ricard Ladikainen from Tappara. Another good top 6 forward prospect to add to our pool. 65 overall playmakers. So this guy could have been easily probably a first rounder, but looks like we're getting some good top 6 forward prospects into the second round, which is pretty crazy. Pretty deep draft. And then we have another second rounder out. Thorne was actually a top forward, which kind of sucks because we could have used a top forward defenseman, but we're not going to get one unless Jason Corey's one. Maybe we will go with Ned Fernandez. I don't know. But he's 4 years away, so he's probably not top 4. Grayson Gordon looks decent. There's still Yelkinen, or another Finnish top 6 forward. We should just go with Yelkinen. Yeah, he's pretty decent actually at shooting, skating, physical, defense is okay, but his puck skills and his senses aren't great. But this guy might not pan out to be anything huge, but we could still take him. But Sillinger looks like he might be better, even though there's more years away. But if he's a top 9, yeah, he might be a top 9 Sillinger, though. That's the only problem. Just go through this for a little bit and see if there's any steals. Lambert. There's a low top 6 forward. Yeah, I think I'll just go with the guaranteed top 6 forward because the rest of these guys are probably top 9s, I feel like. So we're going to go with Jani Jokinen, so another Finn. Welcome to the team. 62 top 6 forwards. So we've got 3 top 6 forwards already in the draft, which is kind of crazy. And now we've simmed to the third round. Let's take a look at Ross Patterson. He looks maybe good, but we should probably start targeting some defensemen, even though they might not be good. Elliot Tunney might be decent. He's almost a guaranteed top 4. Yeah, we're going to just take Elliott Tony. Why not? We need some defensemen. And he's a top 60, 64 overall. So he's got a good base overall, which is good. Means he might pan out in this, but some decent attributes. Not a bad pickup, I think, in the 3rd round. And then we sim to our 78th pick. Van Allen, low elite power forward potentially. Oh yeah, I did pin this guy. Yeah, we're gonna definitely take Jeffrey Van Allen here, since I pinned him and he looks pretty good. And he's a low top 6'4" power forward, 64 overall. So this draft class is not great in terms of overall, I would say, or not overall potential, but the overalls are all there, which is good because technically anybody with a good overall could make a team in this franchise mode. So good pick there. And then 5th round, and I think we have a 7th round, a 6th and a 7th, or maybe 2 7ths. We don't have a whole lot of picks left. Jaden Williams looks decent. Trenton Calder, We don't really need goalie prospects. Low top 60. Yeah, this draft class has dropped off a lot. Let's just go with this low top 9 power forward, since at least we'll get some trade offers probably for him down the road. Korostin, 56, not great overall. Maybe a bit of a project. Maybe he develops fast. Who knows? And then another defenseman maybe. Bomek looks okay, but the scout recommends us Smolinski. We could also take Phil Cullen. Let me just scroll through this quickly to see if there's any good steals, which there doesn't look like it. Yeah, this draft class is pretty bad now. Let's just take Smolinski since the coach recommended us, or not coach, the scout recommended us, and he's a low 7th D. Yikes. And that is the entire draft for us. We didn't have a 7th round pick. So there's all our picks. So we got Ivanen, Lakainen, Yelkinen. So it's some decent top 6 forwards. We got a top 6 D in Tunney, and then a low top 6 in Van Allen, and then Korostin and Smolinski were pretty much nothing. So not a bad draft all in all. Thank you guys for the feedback to get Ivanov, because sometimes it's hard to actually decide on who I want to draft in, and if you guys both say like similar ideas, it kind of helps a lot easier. So thank you for that. Let's get into this Resign stage. We'll get through this pretty quickly, but I don't think I'm going to do free agency in this episode, because I want your guys' opinions on who we should bring in. So in terms of prospects, I'm going to let go of this bottom 6'4" prospect because he's not going to pan out. I'm going to let go of this low top 9D, or not low top 9D, what the heck am I saying, low 7th D. I literally woke up like 30 minutes ago, so I don't know why I'm saying low top 9D. Kachuk is getting let go of as well, same with Roenick. Even though these guys might pan out, we're just going to let them go. And Connolly as well, maybe, yeah. And then we'll just re-sign... Well, we'll just try and re-sign everybody for the AHL to an extent, and get a few of these good young prospects in, like this 7th D man. He's 65 at 19. Why not? We're gonna let go of Maggio. We're gonna let go of Johnson. We're gonna sign Nolan because he's a low top 6'4" prospect of ours. We're gonna sign Kippersoff. Hopefully, some of these guys end up panning out. We'll also sign this bottom 6'4" because why not? Get as much of the youth into our AHL as possible. Coley Binen. And then let's see what we got here. So we'll just qualify Reichel. I almost said Raquel. We're gonna let go of PJ Stock because he took how much penalty minutes this season? Actually, he didn't even play with us. He was just a depth guy for us, but we're gonna still let him go because he's gonna take penalties off like crazy. Peter Schaefer took barely any penalty minutes, so we're gonna just resign him, so at least we get somebody decent into our team. Denny Himmel barely played, I think. Yeah, he played 7 games, but he does normally take a decent amount of penalty minutes, so we're gonna let him go, let him walk, because there might be some better options in free agency. Branislav Meze took 143 PEMs. He's gone for now. We're gonna get back Marcel Hossa. Brennan Wood's going to go as well, just because he took a lot of penalty minutes. Somic didn't take really that much penalty minutes, so we're going to bring him back for 1 year. Monador's gone since he took a lot of penalty minutes. Sean Avery's gone for now. Pretty much every offseason, we're just going to retool this team until we get some of our young guys in the lineup, I would say. Robert Schfela's gone because he took a lot of PIMs. Fahey took less than penalty minute a game, but he wants a lot of money, so I mean, I could bring him back. Yeah, we're just going to bring back Fahey. Even though he took 72 penalty minutes, it's not like he took 150 something, so we'll just sign him for 1 year. Brian Leach is going to come back as well, just as potential trade bait. Maltby is also going to get re-signed for 1 year. And then Aaron Asham, I think, will get signed for 1 year as well. And then our big boy in Bergeron is going to get signed to an 8-year deal. And he only wants 7.225, and I could get this at 85% probably. So I'm going to see if I could target it down to like 6.7. Because if so, that's a really good steal for Bergeron. And then in terms of our goaltending situation, we do have some fringe starters that I could sign. Definitely going to sign Robbins for the AHL. I think I'll just sign every one of our goalie prospects and then let go of Jan Lasic. And then Kluchek. Yeah, we're going to let go of Kluchek, just to get in some of our actual good prospects in, and then we will... I'm going to let go of Markkanen, because Markkanen... should I let go of Markkanen? Yeah, I think I'm going to let go of Markkanen for now. But I am going to bring back Prusek for 1 year, because why not? And then let's advance today, see if we get all those guys in, which hopefully most of them do. And yeah, everybody except for Salmik accepted so far, and Martin Prusek. So we'll offer them a tiny bit more. So pretty good good turnout rate for people that actually wanted to accept our contracts. Salmik, though, I would like to get back because he's not really a penalty taking guy. He's more of a, I would say, a two-way forward to an extent. And we got them both. So now we just wait on Reichel, and that is it. Okay. Just got to make sure we got them all, because I do not want to let go of anybody accidentally. There you go. And then unsigned prospect-wise, we're going to sign Blugis to his ELC, just because he didn't really develop much that 1 year. We're also going to sign Brody to his ELC. Even if these guys aren't playing in the AHL this season, they at least get their ELC, and maybe that helps them grow. And then we're also going to sign Carey Price to his ELC, which is a big step for the franchise. And let's advance today and get those guys. There you go. And we are good to go. So let's take a look at what we have for our roster, and then we'll sim to free agency and see what we need. So in terms of centers, we got 4 centers, but some of these guys might be playing wing, like Malkin might be playing wing, and Kuznetsov. But we could still always trade away guys like Mark Savard at some point if we want to. So we got 4 roster players there, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 11. So we need technically like another forward, probably a right winger, and then a depth guy, or 2 depth guys at most. So I'd say, let me just write this down, 2 depth, and then we'll also take 1 like right winger. And then defensively, we got 1, 2, 3. We could always play Blugis in the NHL, but I don't think it's really smart to do that. So we got 3 defensemen, so we could probably use another 4D. And then goaltending wise, we could run Price as our backup next season to Martin Prusek easily. I think we might do that just because that way he'll get more development, because it doesn't seem like he got a lot of development sitting in Tri-City for 1 year. So there we go. Let's take a look at what's available in free agency. Hopefully there's some decent stuff we could get, because if we want to be a better playoff team this year, we could always pick up some decent players. So let's take a look at those available free agents, and then I'll also show you guys the trading block, and then that'll be it for this episode. So, wow, the guy that went first overall in year 1, Alvin Gill, is an RFA right now, because Minnesota can't re-sign him, but they probably will get him back. Henrik Sedin is also a free agent, and he's a UFA. Damn, Henrik Sedin would be interesting, but we have no use for a big line center like that. So what I was saying is we could use 1 right winger. So we could bring in somebody like Solani, Kayanik, Dvorak. Let's actually take a look if any of these guys match our system that well. Some of these guys might. Forward line 1 for McGillney. Maybe we bring in Alexander McGillney. Yeah, there's some good options actually out there for right wingers. So we could definitely bring in one of these guys if you guys want me to. We could also bring in some depth forwards. So I'll scroll through the other parts of the list. So here's left wingers in case we want to get some depth. Like, for example, oh, that guy's an RFA. That's Benjamin Lindros. That guy went, like, He had a Pittsburgh in the second round. He was a good pickup, but we missed out on. He's also an RFA. And then center-wise, in case we need a depth center, which is always a good plan to have, so you could at least have somebody decent taking face-offs in case of an injury. That's usually what I do, is I always get a center and a winger of some sort for depth. So there we go. Wait, the Sadikov guy's a medium elite, 21-year-old. No, he was drafted. But he's just an RFA that's holding out, which is weird. Okay, and then we'll take a look at defensemen, just because we need a lot of defenders. So there's guys like Al McInnes. Nicholas Kronwall is hit UFA, which is kind of crazy. Let's actually sort by overall. Kimmo Timonen's pretty decent. Yeah, there's some pretty good names out there for defensemen. Not great names, so we could always bring back some of those guys, be like go of like Bugner and Svela, but they will take a lot of penalty minutes, so we got to be a little bit careful of who we pick up, because we don't want to take too many PIMs, because that might be our downfall. In other words, like we don't want to take a guy like Dale Purinton, for example. And then in case we don't want to play Carey Price this year, but I think we might want to, for goaltenders available, there's Pekka Rinne, but he's an RFA. For UFA-wise, though, there's like Manny Legacy, Andrew Raycroft, UC Markkinen again, Martin Biron, Robert Esch, David Abisher, Mika Kiprusoff, John Graham, etc. So there's some pretty good names out there for goalies, but I feel like we should just play Carey Price this year and see what happens. But did Martin Biron get traded? Yes, he did. He did get traded to Minnesota, because remember how I said I was looking and seeing, oh, we should go after Martin Biron. Well, he eventually disappeared, and I was like, where the heck did he go? And he went to Minnesota, where he went 11-1. He would have been probably a pretty good goaltender to bring in, but it looks like he didn't play good in the playoffs, so there you go. And let's take a look at some players and see if there's any good potential steals here from the draft that went undrafted, which it does not look like the case. There's a low top 6 forward that doesn't have good overall. Medium top 6 is 21. He's probably an RFA though, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look like any good steals for that. How about defensively? Any good steals that went undrafted? UFA, low top 4 in Sabrin. We could always sign him, but I don't know if it's necessary, to be honest, because he's probably not going to pan out. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any undrafted steals, any undrafted goaltenders. Doesn't look like it either. Damn, that sucks. Okay, let's take a quick look at the trading block, and then I think that would be it for this episode. So let's see what teams have out there. There's probably not a whole lot on the block. Boston has some decent names: Glenn Murray, Yuri Lettinen, Todd Marchand, Mike Johnson, and Owen Nolan. Buffalo's just got picks. What the heck is this guy's first name? Louis Legg. What a name. I don't think that guy's even a real player, but that's still kind of a cool name. Anybody else interesting? Some prospects: Jan Halavich, David Vaborny, Mark Parrish. Joe Sakic is on the block by Colorado. That is a weird thing to see, because he's been really good there in Colorado. I don't know why he's on the block if like Colorado's falling apart like they did in real life in like 2010. Damn. Yeah, Joe Sakic would be interesting, but I don't think he doesn't really match our system that well. Like he could fit our fourth line, but that's pretty much it. And he is signed for 2 years, but it doesn't really matter about contracts in this, because the fact is there's no cap. So, but it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot. There's like guys like Dan McGillistow, Tony Libman, Francis Cabriolet, Daryl Sador, and Alex Kavanagh, in case we wanted to trade for a defenseman instead of signing one, which I think we'll probably sign instead, because trading for a defenseman is going to be a bit pricey probably for this young team, which we don't want to be giving up on some prospects or anything on. Craig Rivet, Richard Lintner, Ulf Dahlin, and some prospects. I was going to say defensive prospects, but some of them are forwards. Steve Stais and Boris Mironov in New Jersey. Yaroslav Spacek, Joe Corvo, Oleg Tverdovsky in the Island. Rangers have nothing on the block pretty much. Ottawa has Keith Kearney, Richard Matvichuk, and some prospects. Philadelphia has nothing. Phoenix has nothing. Pittsburgh has nothing. Damn, a lot of these teams only just have picks. The San Jose Sharks want to give up Evgeny Nabokov, which is kind of interesting. They also have some prospects, it looks like. St. Louis wants to get rid of some prospects. Tampa Bay wants to get rid of some prospects. Toronto wants to get rid of Igor Ulanov, who's dropped off a cliff. Damn. I was gonna think that was like an EA generated guy, but then I forgot that Ulanov was in this. Vancouver has just some prospects, and Washington has some picks. So not a whole lot on the block. I don't know if we will make any trades this offseason, but if you guys see anybody interesting on that trading block, or if you see anybody interesting in free agency, let me know and I might sign them in next episode. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Atlanta Thrashers franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to free agency, and we'll also start up another season simulation. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.